Hi, my name is Taylor Canady. I'm a recent graduate here at UNM in the biochemistry department. I'm also an IMSD scholar, and during my time in IMSD, I worked with Dr. David Witten in the bioengineering department, specifically on antimicrobial development. For the summer, I'm working at Sandia National Labs, working in cytoskeletal elements, and then in the fall, I'll start my PhD program at Carnegie Mellon in chemistry. So if I could go back 2 years and meet the former self, what advice would I give? I'd probably start out by saying take it easy, enjoy your lab, get to know your lab really well, read the papers deeply, ask questions, first incremental, and then think about those bigger questions as you get more, as your feet are more wet. And as far as classes go, I would say take classes that challenge you. Take classes that you think are not in your domain and your discipline. So for instance, if you're a biologist, take some mathematics and statistics classes, or vice versa. For me, I thought I was going to do physics, and I only stayed in physics and math and really didn't challenge myself in biology. And I sort of regret that because I didn't really develop that appreciation for biochemistry, biology, and genomics till a little bit later, and I sort of was racing to fit those classes in. So if I just walked into a room full of brand new IMSD students, what advice would I give? I would start out with saying you should appreciate and take advantage of Paul and Maggie, Lupe and Stephanie, the whole IMSD team. They're about to invest 2 years into you, and the only thing they ask is that you do great science work, ask the questions that you've already said you're interested in asking, and just sort of do that small part, and they're going to give you a really great thing in helping you write your graduate letters, to showing you what schools are good matches for you, to even the steps in between that, from sort of operating in your lab, writing a lab notebook, all the things that I took for granted at first, but I see are tremendously important to being a good scientist. So the one low point in my college career, and then how I handled it. It was definitely during my graduate application process. I had invested heavily in going to Stanford. I mean, I was looking it up every day on the internet. I was seeing places to live on Craigslist. I mean, I was going to Stanford. And then a series of sort of pokes and prods by Maggie sort of was letting me know that I wasn't going to Stanford. That was really tough because not only academically, but also personally, my grandmother just passed away. I was just having a lot of weight all of a sudden put on me. And a week or two before that, I was on cloud nine. I thought I was going to this great school, going to start a PhD program at this wonderful place, right? And I remember sitting in the office with Maggie and Paul, and they were just doing whatever it took to console me, but also realistically tell me this isn't the end of the world. And I remember Paul specifically sort of lightening the load a little bit by just telling me, you know what, you can say in 10 years from now, hell with them, and go take a job elsewhere. Or with them, it didn't matter. Just don't worry about it and sort of take the next step. And I remember going home that night and figuring out, okay, well, where can I go? Like, where can I go? Where can I apply? And I found a list of pretty solid schools that would be pretty much anybody's first choice if I got in. So I still didn't want to compromise on where I went, and I went and talked to Maggie, and she said, yeah, you know, it's just a weird year. A lot of people applied, do it. And so I applied to 3 more schools, and I heard back seriously from 2 of them, but one of them ultimately being Carnegie Mellon, and I was ecstatic. I mean, this was a great school. It's a school Paul went to, so he had quite a bit of information about it. I just handled the entire process not by myself, but rather using the IMSD team. And that's something that there's a little bit of advice there too. Whatever troubles you have, even if you think they're IMSD related, family or whatever, bring it up with Maggie. You know, they've lived it. They've lived an entire academic and an entire personal life. So they have plenty of advice for you. So what was my high point in my college career? This one's easy for me. I went to high school at Rio Rancho. I didn't really challenge myself there. I started my first 2 years at college not knowing what I wanted to do, what I wanted to major in. I think I went through like 6 different majors in that first 2 years. I never really thought of myself as a scientist or even knew what that meant. And the entire process of finding science really began for me reading Richard Feynman. However cheesy that sounds, I sort of discovered his passion for science. And I remember thinking, I just want to figure out what all this is about. So the next semester I enrolled in all these classes that would have scared the crap out of me just a few weeks earlier, from reading those books. And the classes were difficult. They really challenged me. I was taking freshman chemistry and freshman biology, and I remember taking more and more math. I think I was taking trig or something like that. And it was all so new to me. And I remember thinking, this is the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. But I stuck with it. And really, just within a few years, I was sitting in more advanced mathematics classes, advanced computer science classes, and advanced biology classes, really at home, thinking, I really, really love this. So this was just recently, last year, thinking that, yeah, I'm a scientist. And that epiphany was one of the greatest feelings of my life. So the advice I would give everybody in the room who's watching this, the IMSD future, is to enjoy the people sitting amongst you. If you look around the room, these are future scientists. These are people that you are going to collaborate with, that you're going to talk to for a very long period of your life, of your academic life, and maybe even your personal. Take advantage of that. You have people in the room that are biologists. You have people in the room who are computer scientists. I'm sure there's some mathematicians and engineers. Each person has a different perspective, a different way of answering maybe the same question. Utilize that. It's really, really cool just to sit around, have beer, or go bowling, or whatever you do with each other and just talk about, it doesn't even have to be science, it just be anything, and you'll be surprised how much insight everybody has in this room.